Violent protests in China against virus-driven curbs, hundreds of people smashing through COVID-19 barriers and overturning a police car. A mother losing her unborn baby. The tragic event occurred amidst China's strict pandemic rules. A contest for power intensifying, a look at why China, the US, and Canada are putting more effort in courting one region in Asia. A Chinese man under arrest in Canada, an employee for a major Canadian power company, he's now on suspicion of espionage tied to clean energy technology. And could Vietnam replace China as the world's leading manufacturer? Germany voices plans to back the country. Welcome to China in Focus. I'm Ellie Hart, in for Tiffany Meyer. Before we turn to today's news, we'd like to introduce you the sponsor of today's episode.
Secure, the true solution for your digital privacy and security. Secure is a private and secure messaging and email solution hosted in Switzerland, using military-grade encryption and Swiss privacy laws, giving you true privacy. Secure is 100% private and does not collect or sell any of your personal data. Secure's Helix technology connects you securely to our Swiss servers without the need of a VPN, guaranteeing privacy and security for all your communications. Secure Messenger doesn't require your phone number or any personal data that hackers target. Chat by Invites allows you to chat privately and securely with anyone outside of your secure network without the need for others to download Secure. Secure Send offers you a private and secure way to email anyone outside of Secure. You won't find this level of privacy or security on any other email or instant messaging application. Visit secure.com. Regain and protect your privacy today.
Public anger is rising over China's ongoing COVID-19 lockdowns. Despite the rest of the world largely reopened, the stringent rules are being met with rare protests from residents in Guangzhou, China's southern industrial metropolis. Here's the story.
Anger exploded Monday night over the draconian measures in the southern city. Video circulating online shows fed-up residents smashing through barricades and overturning a police car. The unrest took place in the city's Haizhu district. The district has been under an increasingly restricted lockdown for about 10 days. Tensions have been building there, home to many poor migrant workers. They've complained about unemployment and food shortages. One resident there has been under strict stay-at-home orders for over 20 days.
200,000 people in this district, some of whom have no food or water. They are mostly migrant workers who have nothing at home, just a bed.
According to another resident, there are no supplies in many parts of the district, and sick children has been denied medical care.
People called the hotlines and couldn't get through, but once connected, the operator said, "This is not my duty."
The local government, under the Chinese regime, reportedly sent multiple police vehicles to the protests. It's unclear how many people were involved or how long the protests lasted. Related social media posts were quickly scrubbed from the Chinese internet by censors.
That anger isn't just limited to Guangzhou. It's emerging across China. But on Tuesday, Chinese state media reaffirmed that China would stick to its zero COVID-19 policy.
As COVID infections continue to rise in China, Chinese Communist Party officials are threatened with punishment if they don't have their area under control. The tight restrictions have sparked clashes between residents and local officials. In a video from November 7th posted by a resident from Linyi in China's Shandong province, local COVID enforcers are seen dragging locals over the pavement before hitting them. Some officers in black suits are seen kicking a person in the head. Another woman was thrown to the ground. And in Hunan province, video shows an armed police vehicle with the logo of Zhuzhou Special Police patrolling the streets. The loudspeaker says armed patrols are now being carried out in key areas of Yutong Street. It says citizens are required to strictly abide by prevention regulations to not go out or gather together, and that those who do not obey orders will be dealt with severely. The long lockdowns are driving local citizens crazy. Many lack food and supplies. Several videos circulating online show residents trying to break out from the lockdown barrier. But some can only cry for help. A video of an elderly man kneeling for help in Guangzhou went viral. Locals said the elderly man was begging the staff to save his grandson who has a fever, but no one is there to help. Some people recorded a video of the scene and uploaded it online, but were threatened by police to delete it. Local residents say similar clashes continue. And in Xuchang City of Hunan Province, a video shows a local citizen complaining to a local government official that he hasn't been able to eat for 2 days. The city has been under lockdown for 28 days. The man in the video says, "What will you do if I starve to death?" And the official replied, "If you starve to death, I will sign your death certificate." At the end of the video, the hungry man was beaten.
A tragic event occurred in the southwestern metropolis of Chongqing over the weekend. This distressed woman just had a miscarriage. She reportedly needed medical care but was not allowed to leave her lockdown compound on Saturday. In an official notice on Chinese social media on Sunday, local authorities under the Chinese Communist Party claimed it apologized to the woman, offered compensation, and obtained her forgiveness. But the incident sparked outrage among the Chinese public. Some people left comments on Chinese social media platforms questioning China's stringent lockdowns. Early on Friday, China's cabinet unveiled a 20-point plan to slightly curb previous virus measures. It specifically required local cities to ensure normal production and livelihood, and vowed to punish cities that arbitrarily impose lockdowns. But many districts in Chongqing reportedly still issue 7-day lockdowns over the weekend. Moving south to Indonesia, world leaders are meeting for key economic talks. A contest for power is heating up in the region. Washington is doubling down on efforts to court Southeast Asian countries, elevating relations and putting money on the table. That's after China's presence has grown significantly in the region. Countries there like Vietnam, Thailand, Indonesia, Malaysia, Singapore, and Cambodia surround a critical body of water. It's called the South China Sea. It's one of the world's most important economic regions. Almost 1/3 of global maritime trade passes through its waters every year. Now the U.S. is showing more commitment to it. President Biden attended a meeting there with the key leaders. The head of states there formed an international body called the Association of Southeast Asian Nations, or ASEAN.
ASEAN is the heart of my administration's Indo-Pacific strategy, and we continue to strengthen our commitment to work in lockstep with an empowered, unified ASEAN.
The same day, the White House elevated America's relations with the region to what's called a comprehensive strategic partnership. The Chinese regime secured that status last year. Biden said the U.S. is putting real resources behind its approach, not just rhetoric.
Over the last year, my administration has announced more than $250 million in new initiatives with ASEAN. And for 2023, I've requested $850 million in assistance for Southeast Asia.
Canada is also joining in.
In fact, now more than ever, we need to double down on cooperation.
Canada said it would give ASEAN over $300 million in aid over the next 5 years. Also at the meeting, China's number 2 official, Premier Li Keqiang, said,
"We jointly promoted the signing and implementation of RCEP, Regional Comprehensive Economic Partnership, and jointly built the world's largest free trade zone."
RCEP is the world's largest free trade agreement. It includes almost 1/3 of the global population. Members include most of major economies in East Asia, but it excludes the U.S. China also established a free trade zone with ASEAN over 10 years ago. The deal cuts tariffs on 90% of the goods flowing between the member states. Beijing is now mulling over whether to expand the trade zone. China has been ASEAN's biggest trading partner for 13 years in a row. Trade between the two accounts for over 15% of China's exports. The Chinese premier said Beijing would pump over $27 million into Cambodia. He also signed 18 agreements with Cambodia, ranging from road construction to trade, education, and health. Canadian police arrested a public employee on suspicion of espionage Monday. He had been working for a major power company on producing clean energy. Yuesun Wang now faces charges of selling trade secrets to China. Here's more.
While employed by Hydro-Quebec, Mr. Wang allegedly used this position to conduct research for a Chinese university and other Chinese research centers. He reportedly published scientific articles and submitted patents in association with this foreign actor rather than with Hydro-Quebec. It is alleged that he obtained this information to benefit the People's Republic of China to the detriment of Canada's economic interests.
Wang faces charges including fraud, breach of trust by a public officer, and using a computer without authorization. He is also charged with espionage for obtaining trade secrets. Authorities say it's the first time that charge has been laid in Canada. Law enforcement officials began investigating Wang in August this year after a complaint was made by his employer, Hydro-Quebec, which is a public utility company.
The company, Hydro-Quebec, is one of the largest power utilities in Canada. It's also a leader in clean energy development. German Chancellor Olaf Scholz is wrapping up his two-day visit to Vietnam on Monday with a reassuring message for the country's economy, plans to make Vietnam an alternative manufacturing hub, and to skirt China. Vietnam is one of Southeast Asia's fastest-growing economies and occupies an increasingly prominent place in global supply chains. According to Scholz, Vietnam is an important future partner to reduce Germany's economic dependence on China. Germany previously blocked the sale of a semiconductor factory to a Chinese tech company. It cited security concerns. On the weekend, Germany's economy minister said Germany is still open to trade with China, but noted they're not, quote, stupid. He said they will need to remain cautious in doing business with China. Like-minded friends are getting closer. Taiwan has confirmed it will pour about $10 million into microchip production in Lithuania. Taiwan is the world's biggest semiconductor supplier. Relations between Taiwan and Lithuania grew closer last year, after the European nation allowed Taiwan to open a de facto embassy in its country, with Taiwan in its official name. It's unique to de facto embassies in other countries, which use Taipei instead, the name of Taiwan's capital. Lithuania's decision angered China, and Beijing kicked the country off China's customs system, blocking all trade activities between them. Beijing also sanctioned a Lithuanian deputy minister after a visit to Taiwan this year. Lithuania responded by calling China's move unjustified and accusing it of violating international law. Back to Taiwan's microchip investment in Lithuania, Taiwan says the funding isn't in return for the Taiwan office. Eric Huang, head of the Taiwanese representative office in Lithuania, said Taiwan would like to work with Lithuania together to strengthen the resilience of democratic supply chains in the face of coercion by autocracies. Lithuania has become Taiwan's most outspoken ally in Europe in recent years. The Baltic country emerged as a democracy in the 1990s, when the communist bloc in Eastern Europe collapsed. Amid North Korean nuclear missile threats, the U.S. and South Korea are strengthening their combined defenses in the region. They also moved the headquarters of America's military base in South Korea, the largest overseas U.S. base. Officials from both countries celebrated the move on Tuesday. NTD's Flinders Kingsley has the story.
The US-South Korea Combined Forces Command, or CFC, has moved its headquarters from Seoul to Pyeongtaek, 43 miles from the South Korean capital. The new location at Camp Humphreys military base is the headquarters of the UN Command and the US Forces Korea. Camp Humphreys is the largest overseas US military base. The move will strengthen the combined defense posture in the region.
We decided to strengthen U.S. ability for extended deterrence to restrain and respond effectively to North Korea's nuclear missile threats. In particular, we made it clear that North Korea's attempt of a nuclear attack will lead to the end of Kim Jong-un's regime.
The US Defense Manpower Data Center says there are around 28,500 US troops stationed in South Korea. That's the third largest garrison of US troops behind those in Japan and Germany.
The most precious resource of the Republic of Korea, the United States, and the sending states that have stood with us for the last 44 years has not changed, and it will not change. And while we work to assure the Korean people and to prepare for combat, we pray for peace. Our love of peace, freedom, and security has not changed. It has only gotten stronger.
The CFC headquarters was based in the South Korean capital for 44 years before the move. Flinders Kingsley, NTD News.
That's all for today's China in Focus on YouTube. We're now sharing a shortened version of our program here after being demonetized for more than a year. Here's what to look out for in our second half. Foreign interference at the polls. Expert says the Chinese Communist Party is more actively meddling in U.S. elections. We spoke to Josh Kurlansik, senior fellow at the Council on Foreign Relations, about Beijing's behavior. What's more, former British diplomat Roger Garside says U.S.-China relations are in a more dangerous state than ever before. The full episode is available on our partner platform Epoch TV. To sign up, click the link down below. Thanks for watching China in Focus. I'm Ellie Hart. See you tomorrow.